Hello student. Today we are going to start with a new topic, that is anatomy of flowering plant. In the previous chapter we have already studied about morphology of flowering plant. In morphology we have studied about the structure of the plant, structures and their parts and their part. In this chapter we study about the internal structure of the plant. Internal structure of the plant, that is, the plant is made up of which type of tissues. We will study over here about a tissue and their tissue system. That is, the plant is made up of which type of tissues and which type of tissue system is taking place to perform the function of the plant. Anatomy basically means the internal part study. Term anatomy indicate the internal study, that is inside the cell or into the plant. Internal study. When we study about the external, we will call it a morphological study. But when we study about internal, we will call the anatomy of that part. Okay, so let's start with the anatomy of a flowering plant. First of all, plant is a composed of several type of cells, and the group of cell is basically called a tissue. What is a tissue? Is a group of similar cell performing same function. That is, there is one cell and there is another one cell and there is another one cell. These four cells together is called a tissue. All these cells are same, are having a same origin, that is, they are basically originated from same area and perform same function. Then such cell are group of cell are called tissue. Those group of cell which perform same function and have same origin, such group of tissue cells are called tissue. So there are basically in plant there are two types of cell. One is the meristematic tissues and another is the permanent tissue. The differences between the meristematic tissue and a permanent tissue is meristematic tissue is basically a dividing cells. That is, they are a dividing cell. So the cell division is take place in the meristematic tissue. We will see a cell division in meristematic tissue. All the growth which will be seen in the plant is basically due to the presence of a meristematic tissue. Meristematic tissues are basically divided into two parts, and it is on the basis of origin, number one, and second, that is on the basis of origin and on the basis of location. Okay, so these are the two areas from the meristematic tissues are found. If we consider on the basis of origin, then those tissues which are originate at the beginning is called a primary meristematic tissue, and those which originate later after primary, that is called a secondary meristematic. We will discuss in detail. And on the basis of origin, they are basically of three types. One is apical, that is, it is found at the tip of the plant, whether it is root tip or a shoot tip. Intercalary, and the third most important is lateral. So these are the three area where the plant's meristematic tissues are found: apical, intercalary, and lateral. Whether it is in root or we consider it in shoot. Okay, I'm writing on shoot. So in shoot we found all the three areas, while in root mostly we found an apical and a lateral. Intercalaries are not been found in the root system. While the permanent tissues are divided into two groups. One is simple permanent tissue, another is a complex permanent tissue. It means if a group of tissue which are composed of same cell, group of tissue composed of same cell, group of cell sorry, group of cell or tissue made up of same, that is all the cell which have been found in this tissue are similar, all are similar shape, size and function. Such group of tissue are called permanent. The most important thing about the permanent tissue is it is a non-dividing cell. That is, they are mostly non-dividing. That is, there is no cell division is seen over here. Like the permanent tissues basically the cell division does not take place mostly in the permanent tissue, does not take place, while the cell division mostly takes place in the meristematic. So these two tissues, it is basically permanent tissues, are found in the outer area which is called a dermal, and in the middle area that is called a ground tissue. So these both are belongs to a simple permanent tissue, and these vascular tissues are basically a complex tissue. What is a basic complex? There are different types of cells present in a tissue. Different type of cell present in a tissue is called a complex. Different type of cell present in a tissue are called complex tissue. So the tissues are basically a group of cells. The tissue are of two types. One is a dividing cell, that is a cell division takes place. Such division of cell are called a meristematic tissues. Another is a permanent tissues where there is no cell division takes place, that is it is non-dividing. Mostly non-dividing, there is only few which may be divide, that I will discuss, that is a parenchyma. The most important thing is that by meristematic tissues has been divided into two parts, that is on the basis of origin. One is primary and another is secondary, and the second is on the basis of location. Location is depend on apical, intercalary, lateral, and these things are present in the shoot system as well as in roots. The permanent tissue is also divided into two cells, that is simple permanent tissue or a complex permanent tissue. Simple permanent tissue are basically epidermal tissue and ground tissues. Complex tissues are vascular tissues. Epidermal tissues are basically divided into two parts, that is epidermis and peridermis. Ground tissues are of three types: parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. While vascular tissues are divided into two, that is xylem and phloem. Xylem conducts water from root to the aerial part of the plant. Phloem distributed the food from leaf to the other parts of the plant. So, meristematic. Now we will discuss in detail about the meristematic tissue. The meristematic tissue has the power of cell division. That is, the cell division is seen in the meristematic tissue. In meristematic tissue, there are some characteristic features. The cell wall is thin. That is, the cell wall which are found in the, suppose this is a meristematic tissue, the cell wall is around is very thin, and this thinness is due to because these cells are a dividing cells. Dividing means, suppose this is a cell wall. Okay. So let's see what do you mean by meristematic tissue. This is your cell. There is a very thin layer around it, very thin layer around it, and this thin layer is called a cell wall. Why this thin? It is thin layer because these cells continuously divide and produces a new cells. That is, the mitosis takes place. The process of mitosis is found in the meristematic tissue. From mitosis, one cell is divided into two. So the outer layer cell wall is always thin wall, because if it is not thin wall, then the cell division is not possible more quickly or rapidly as compared with the thin wall. The thickness of the wall is very essential for the division of the cell. Another important thing is, though there is no intercellular spaces. Intercellular spaces means the space between two cells. Suppose the cell is in spherical in shape. Okay. Let's suppose this is a cell, and look at this. This is another cell. To find some space in between these cells, look at this. I think the color. These are the spaces in yellow color. These spaces are in between the two cells, and such spaces are basically called, these are the spaces which are in between the two cells, and such spaces are called intercellular spaces. So in meristematic tissue, there is no intercellular spaces. Such are basically a hexagonal in shape. If you find a structure like this, another cell is attached like this, and this another cell is attached like this, another cell is attached like this. So what we found, this is cell 1, cell 2, cell 3, cell 4. All these four cells are together, and in between them there is no intercellular space. That is, there is no space between from one cell to another cell. So this type of presentation is always seen in the meristematic tissue. In meristematic tissue, there is no intercellular space. The third important thing is that there is an abundant cytoplasm. That is, the space of the cytoplasm is large, and these space contain a nutritive element. Nutritive element. These nutritive elements help in the help to perform the process of cell division. Cell division requires nutrition. Nutritions are required, and these requirement is filled from by cell itself. So these cytoplasm are too much in space or in large, and also very dense. Dense means there is a many things present in a specific area. When they're populated area, in a particular area, when suppose there in this area there is only two elements you found, like one is this, another is this, and in this area you found a more than two, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what is the, which is the denser? Then let's suppose A figure and B figure. So A figure is denser because it contains number of elements more as comparison with B. So the cell wall is all of the meristematic tissues are larger because they contain large number of nutritive materials, cell organelles, and all the other things which are essential for their cell division. Because the meristematic tissue, as I already said, it has a power of cell division. It continuously divides itself. The cell cycles takes place over here. A new cell is produced through a meristematic tissue. So due to retaining the power of cell division, the cytoplasm is always abundant and contain a nutritive elements. These nutritive elements help in the process of cell division because like proteins, vitamins, and other process of energies in the form of ATPs all are stored. So what we can also say, it is the storage area. It is a reserve food material area. Reserve food material area. So meristematic tissue is also perform the function of reserve food material because it stores food materials, stores food material, stores food material. So it is also known as a reserve food material area. The meristematic tissues are been divided into two parts. That is, one in the position or the location where it is found. Another is the origin, that is when it was originated. First we will discuss about the position. The first position is the apical meristem, lateral meristem, and the intercalary. Let's suppose we take the example of a root. Let's suppose we take the example of a, you know that this is basically a root. Here it is a root cap found a, so this area, it is called the apical area. Apical area is containing is made up of meristematic tissue. Why? Because it is there is always a continuous growth is seen in this area. So when the tissue which is found at the tip, tissues which are found which are found at the tip of root or shoot is known as apical meristem. Apical meristem. So here whatever the tissues are being present, these tissues are basically apical meristematic. We found when I was drawing this tissue, you see that I left some space in between. Okay. Left something. All these tissues are basically a apical meristematic tissue. Well, look at this area where I have left some spaces. In this area there is another tissue which are present over here. These area and these tissues are called a quiescent. Called a quiescent. These are basically temporary non-dividing tissue. Temporary non-dividing. They're basically temporary non-dividing. So what does it mean? It means that there is a regular division is seen at the tip of the root by which the growth is always be seen in the root and it is moving apart. Okay. What happened actually? At the center there are some tissues which are not dividing, but they are not permanently non-dividing. They still keep alive and non-dividing, but if required, the division is required by them, then they start dividing, else they are always in the state of rest. Such type of tissue are called a quiescent tissue, a quiescent cell, or okay. These are always present in between the apical meristematic tissue, or the quiescent tissues are surrounded by the apical meristematic. They are also a meristematic tissues, but they are temporary non-dividing tissues. They divide when required, else all the time they are always in the state of rest. So after the division, there is the elongations will be seen, and these elongation give rise to a tissue which helps in the supporting the area, and such is called a lateral color. So they help in the elongations of the tissue, and lateral tissue helps in the elongations of the tissue, while the apical tissues help in the formation of a new tissue and growth of the tissue. In this is always seen in the root system, but in shoot system there is something different from the root. What is basically in shoot system? Let's suppose I just take a stem over here. This is a stem. From the stem there is the another branches are being growing. In between branches you found a bud is being taking place. Okay. Or we can say another example, that is, we take a shape of a gram. Okay. After a day, when we keep a gram or in water, what we found, there is a outgrowth is being seen in white color, like this. The outgrowth is being seen in white color like this. New outgrowth, we can change the color of this. This is the new outgrowth. So this new outgrowth is basically called a plumule. What is the plumule is? It a new outgrowth. When they are growing, the plumule later becomes take a part of a stem. Okay. So initially, these plumule are a new growth, and that is why they are considered as a primary meristem. They are considered as a primary meristem because the growth is, when a new growth is comes, that is called a primary meristem. That is, the origin is here. If the growth is new, or the first beginner growth of a cell from the tip of a root or a shoot, then it is called a primary meristem. When these growth are elongated and give rise to a stem, and lateral from the stem, suppose this grow, this plumule lateral becomes a stem. Okay. And from the stem there is another growth take place which arises from the node, and these, from this node there is a rise of the branches or a rise of the leaves. So this is the formation of a leaf. So there is a growth, such growth is called a secondary growth, which grows later. That is not a new cells, because actually the already the cells has been grown up, and the initial formation of a new cell is been taking place. The initial formation is always considered a primary meristem, that is the beginner, and when another layer formation, that is nodes, from nodes the new leaves are been arising, that is basically considered as a secondary. So the root, if we go on the shoot system, what we found, there is a new growth is being seen, and these new growth where the at the tip of the shoot, That is, if you look at the stem, this is the tip. The tip of the shoot is called apical, while the later growth, which is elongated parallelly, this is called a lateral meristem. So growth in plant is largely restricted, specialized of active cell division called meristem. Is when the growth is always been is specific, that is, it is limited, it is not found in everywhere, and the area where is the division is taking place, that is, there is formation of new cells is been taking place, that particular cells group of tissue called a meristem. It has been divided into three parts. The number one is the apical meristem. These are the meristem which occurs at the tip of the roots or the shoot and produces primary. That is, if you go on the root system, then there is always a tip, whether it is a main branch tip, that is this area, or the area from where the branches will be arise, that is this area. We go on the branches, what we see, these are the tip area. Tip. This area is called the apical meristem, because a new growth will be taking, or the growth of a plant is being seen. Intercalary meristems are one which occur between the mature tissue. That is, these are the growth, and after growth it becomes mature and it becomes a part of the intercalary, that is, help in the elongations of the meristem. Then lateral meristems occur in mature region of root and shoot and appear later than primary meristem. That means from where the lateral mature region of the roots, and if you go under this area, look at this portion is a very mature area or the strongest part of the shoot, or we can say this area is the very strongest part of the shoot. This is composed of the lateral meristem. So basically what we can found in the initial stages, when the plant is being grown, initial stages, in the initial stages, first the apical meristem take place. Apical meristem takes place. Cells of the apicum or a tissue of the apical meristems is converted into intercalary meristem, meristematic tissue, and these intercalary meristematic tissue lateral become mature and give rise to a lateral meristematic. So when a new cell is being formed and that new cells arises from a group of cells, these group of cells are basically called an apical meristematic. After some time, when another new cell is formed, the latter one become an intercalary meristematic tissue, and after that, when it become mature, it attain the position of lateral meristematic. So depending upon the ages or the time passed by the formation of a cell, the position of the meristem change. The first starting days it is apical, after that it becomes intercalary, and after intercalary that group of cell is attain the position of a lateral meristematic tissue. So finally we have ended up with a meristematic tissue. I hope you understand it very well, and we will continue with the permanent tissue in our next lecture. If any doubt arises with this, please kindly ask and discuss it in detail. Thank you very much.